What up, what up, what up? Hey, everybody, hope you're doing well. Hey, I just want to let you know, I know everybody can't always support and donate to the podcast, but hey, if you can do a one-time donation, I put up a Buy Me a Coffee link in this description of the podcast. So if you go to the description of the podcast, it'll be at the bottom, and you can just go to that link, and you can buy me a cup of coffee, or two if you want. And that would just help support the show, and I can wake up a little bit more and bring you more info. So thanks for listening to the podcast. If you can donate, that would be much appreciated. And let's get on to the show. What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO legend and paranormal lore. Welcome back, welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully you guys are doing excellent and taking care of yourselves. Today I've got an awesome one for you. It is the day. It is the day of being thankful. Thankful that maybe we're not under the surveillance of the government. Oh wait, we are. Never mind. And to that end, I will say that Google Maps gives us an unending amount of beautiful images to analyze and determine if they are true or half true. So it's interesting today. One article, well, actually many articles have been talking about this particular image of a flailing, armed, and other appendages man out of Buff, that is a town, yes, Buff, Utah. So Google Images has all kinds of great stories, and many stories have been written about images that have come off of Google, such as alien bases located above ground, underground, in ground. Also, we've been able to capture a lot of interesting photos of Area 51 back when Terra Server, which was Google's predecessor, came out. So what do we have now? Well, we have this very interesting image of a very long-armed, not just long-armed, but wavy-armed, running individual caught on camera as the Google Maps car. If you haven't seen this thing is impressive. I've seen a Google's Map car. The Google Map car has this huge 360-degree camera on the top of it, and typically they're like Toyota Matrixes or some other type of SUV-like car. But anytime I was ever around it, I was actually in an Olive Garden parking lot when I saw one. I always got this eerie vibe. I was like, oh, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want this thing taking a picture of me. Luckily, I believe those guys were parked and eating at Olive Garden as well. Now, this Google Maps vehicle was driving past and captured this very bizarre creature. And there's an image of it on the internet. Now, some people possibly being the government trying to do a little bit of damage control, say, oh, it's only a scarecrow, or it's only some sort of prop, or it's only some sort of this or that. But in my mind, I believe that Google itself uses a very high quality camera in their recording and in their image capturing, because they're able to do a lot with their images. They're able to cut them out. They're able to take people out of the images. They're able to add things in if they want to. And they work with the government to take and capture photos elsewhere. We even have Google Earth, which has a satellite. We have all kinds of stuff that Google does for the government. And actually, a lot of people don't know this, but Google was actually partially funded by the government with Sergey Brin and Page. So a lot of people don't know that. They got some startup money from the government itself. So very fascinating stuff when it comes to Google and where they actually started from. So don't you think that they're probably working with the government and giving them images and cutting them out if needed? Yes, there are some people that say, I don't want to be on camera, so I'm going to kindly take myself or request that I get taken out from Google, which you can do by emailing them. But this scarecrow image, it didn't email Google. It didn't say I want to be taken out. No, it is right in there, easily easily accessible to see with the naked eye. Buff, Utah. Keep that in mind. Buff, Utah. Now, this thing looks far from being buff. This thing looks like it hasn't had a good meal in years. But it does look like it could be an alien or some type of entity. Maybe not necessarily a physical form, but some sort of other dimensional being. That being said, is it possible for this other dimensional being to appear on a Google photo or a Google camera? Many cameras are able to see into other realms of light or the light spectrum that the human eye cannot see. Dyson glasses. Those are Dyson, something like that. Dyson dye glasses, goggles are able to see into an aura or astral realm to be able to see people's auras. We did a podcast about that. Other cameras are able to capture sometimes ghosts on film. We've seen old-timey cameras taking photos of people in the early 1900s with a relative in the background. And that relative just happened to be passed away for 20, 50 years. But clear as day, that person is right in the family photo shot, right behind grand old Aunt Mildred. So, that being said, there's lots of photography equipment, video equipment that's able to capture things that the human eye cannot see. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, Google was taking images of these different areas, and it just happened to capture a flailing armed entity. Maybe it was running from something. Maybe it was just frolicking in the grass that day. Maybe it was taking off, flying off into space, or going into another realm of existence. We don't know. But what we do know is that this image does exist. Now, whether or not it is real or not is not necessarily the question. The question is, can Google Images capture entities from other realms? The answer seems to be yes, because we know that there are many, many instances of this happening in the past with less sophisticated equipment. So if that's true, then why hasn't Google come forward and said, hey, we have proof that we have captured something of another realm or another planet? Well, wouldn't that be nice if they did? It doesn't seem as though they have, but it would be nice. Now, clearly, if you work for Google, you're going to have the inside access to this information. You're going to be able to tell people about it. And there was an individual who did talk about what he saw with some of the things going on behind the scenes at Google. One of the things was AI. Another thing was Google Images. Another thing was what they were able to obtain through Gmail and information. So this whistleblower was like knocked off of servers. Like any information about this guy was basically cut off from Google searches. Google didn't want him to get his message out. They cut him off. So this guy was coming out saying, hey, our AI is a problem. Our AI will be a problem. We got to stop this right now. Unfortunately, they didn't, and they're continuing to do it. But won't it be fascinating, with all of the plethora of images, will we be able to ask AI to go into all these photos on Google and Google Earth and Google Maps and see if AI can assist us in locating these other entities that might be out there in these images? Let's say, for example, it gets so sophisticated that you can say, hey, Google, I want to ask you, can you determine if there are any living entities in these photos that aren't cataloged on Earth? Are there any entities that appear to be humanoid and appear to have living tissue but aren't cataloged, and you cannot catalog, being Google. Google cannot catalog it either, because as you know, Google can catalog your face in your pictures and your family's face. I guarantee you, if you have Google Photos on your phone, you can go in and you can say, hey, here's Johnny, here's Jennifer, here's Joe, all my family members, and Google's already asked you if you wanted to name them in your Google's photo app. If you haven't done that, I have. It's fascinating, and it can pick out side-faced images. It can pick out almost an image that the person doesn't even look like themselves in, and it can say, hey, that's John. Hey, that's Jennifer. The person can literally almost be turned away. So I think with AI, we're going to be able to say, hey, was this wavy armed man real? Was this wavy armed man an entity that we have not cataloged? Okay, if we have not cataloged it, can you, Google, determine if this entity was alive or not? AI, Google, if not already, can determine from pictures and from multiple shot pictures, or aka video, that an entity is real by programmed analogs and algorithms. So we're there already. They haven't released it yet as a Google app, but we're there already. And we have other apps that can do this. We have other apps that can identify plant life. We have other apps that can identify something's poison oak or a tiger or a bear and what kind it is, and whether or not it's dangerous. So we're already there. We're already there. It's just whether or not Google's going to jump on board and help us to determine if we've captured anything on film. Well, they may not have to. We may be able to ask AI ourselves. Or has Google already jumped far enough ahead and said, hey, guess what? With AI, somebody is going to ask if we can do this, if we can come up with this information. And maybe they've already programmed it into their algorithm to stop that from happening, to stop us from asking it, or to not give us the information that we're seeking. It's really fascinating. A lot of information's coming out now with AI. A lot of information's coming out with these Google photos and these Google maps. There's images all over the world that they're coming out with islands that appear to not be natural, they appear to be human-made or man-made, that appear to have a base on them, that doesn't appear to have a militaristic or a military status for any branch of the military. There's been images of UFOs, triangles, saucers, cylinders. This is just one of many. But I thought it was really interesting because they did have a photo of it, and I'll try to post it up in the picture for the thumbnail of this podcast. So anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy the holidays. Take care of your loved ones. Take care of yourself. Follow through on your hobbies, your goals, and your dreams. Take care of your physical health, your spiritual health, your mental health. And as always, continue to question the universe around you. Go like, follow, share, subscribe. I love you guys for it, and take care of yourselves. Lockdown Universe out.